right, welcome back, everyone. This week's Picture of the Week being brought to you by Flowers Garden Center. Let me tell you something. Jim Flowers went down there to Florida and brought back a whole truckload of tropicals. So go over there and pick you out some tropicals. They're located at 4550 Eatons Creek Road. Right there, you can just follow your nose. Get that gardenia smell, you can just follow right to their door. I'm telling you, it's a great, great place to be. Our first picture here, this is of Joseph Mears with his winning fish that he took the other day on, I believe that was Old Hickory right there. I believe that was it. And our next picture here, this is my buddy. I tell y'all all the time about Stacy Nunley. Stacy Nunley won the tournament at Nickajack with his son Josh. Now, if you want to go fishing on Nickajack, look at a couple of toads he brought out for that thing. He is constantly bringing out 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pounders.
We got something he needs to throw.
Yeah. Well, he'll throw them, I promise you. Stacy Nunley, great job, Stacy. We appreciate that. And our last picture here, this is my good friend Chris Snow, old Snow Spin himself, sitting out there on Center Hill Lake. If you can't tell that, you hadn't been there. But that's right. Center Hill all day long. And he was using a Mad Dad lure.
Swim bait.
Swim bait, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
With his head now.
That's right.
He said, I'm using my head, Hugh, but he said, I'm using that Mad Dad lure swim bait. And so, here, I got to say this one. Courtney saved her own skin on this one. This is Miss Joy on Saturday. The day after her birthday, the day before Mother's Day, she took this nice Kentucky bird all by herself. She stayed out there till she got the job done. And she had been out there since, well, way before daylight. And I think she got this bird at 1:40 in the afternoon. He was just lonely, and she just sounded too good to be true. He just couldn't stand it. So send your pictures to us here at Southern Woods and Waters, 474 James Robinson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37219, or simply email them to me at hugh@southernwoodsandwaters.com. We'll get them on here really fast. We appreciate all those fine pictures. Got a lot of them coming in. We are going to be making a lot of pictures this weekend, this Saturday. I'm trying to let everybody know. I want you to know, we do have enough boats to carry all of the Easter Seals kids fishing.
Good.
So what a great thing. Everybody, I sure appreciate you volunteering and sure appreciate you stepping up to the plate, because I did not want to leave not one kid on the dock. They should be out there fishing. They only get one day to fish. So, I'll give up one day to give, because I can fish 364 more.
Exactly right.
So, I give up one day so these kids can go fishing, and we'll be out there at the Easter Seals Camp on Percy Priest. So that's Saturday. You guys are going to come help a little bit, and then we just want everybody to have fun. There's a lot of things going on the water this weekend. Safe Boating Week starts next week, so let's please remember that. That's the week before Memorial Day. We gotta make sure we do a little bit better this year than we did last year. It was kind of bad.
Right.
Too many wrecks.
Well, the lake ain't up. It's really going to be bad.
Really going to be bad.
Yeah, and we want to explain that to everybody. Dayton, what are you talking about now?
Well, we didn't get enough rain, except one back in March or April, to bring the lake up. So, May we usually have floods, so they left Priest down. Okay. Well, we're not having the rains we need. This little bit we got last night, we didn't get quite enough. So it's still way down. So I was over there day before yesterday fishing, and around all the islands, around Spring Creek and them old mud flats, you got green grass growing 3 foot high. It's dry.
It's dry.
In between all the old rocks you would flip a jig through right now, it's just big old green grass growing out of it. So I guess it's a good and a bad thing. It's just the Corps is trying to keep from flooding again. Basically, they're holding the water back, but that's mostly what it is. I mean, but
and with it being that low, there's a lot of rocks that
there's humps that you can.
Humps and stuff like that. It's not like
used to.
You can tell that they're. I'm right here.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. It'll be bad.
What do you reckon, to stay in the buoys?
You have to stay in the buoys, or go purchase a GPS, a good GPS system for your boat. If you're going to invest in a boat anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000, what's $1,000 depth finder that shows you where to run on the lake instead of trying to guess?
Yeah.
We'd be up there fishing, there's crappie markers, it's in 3 foot of water where people relate to them as something to run by. So you're sitting there fishing, a drop,
they're running.
and they running in 3 foot of water, and the river channel's 100 yards to your left.
That's
So,
dangerous.
Well, now it's it's really bad. Plus, you got so much more debris that's washed in, and exposed trees that's not normally exposed, and just like the other day, I about messed up, and I've been over there my whole life because you think, well, the lake's up, it's about right, and it ain't. You go
No.
shoot off to leave out, and bang, bang, bang. That's about it.
We're not going to mention no names.
I ain't
but
gonna mention no names. A buddy of ours run through the 3rd cut the other day, and is familiar with the lake and drifted a little bit to the left, and lower unit motor, and it took the lower unit off and busted the bolts where it mounts on the boat and all. But it's not, that's what I'm getting at. The lake is not it's just not something that you go out and play like a playground on.
No.
It's real. I mean,
It's serious.
It's serious. You just don't back a boat in with 10 kids and say, all right, everybody pile in and take off down the lake at 50 miles an hour.
Not knowing where you're going.
Not knowing where you're going, especially pulling a skier this time of year.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to be able to pull a skier and your boat will run in 2 or 3 foot. But if he falls, the first thing he's going to hit's a pile of rocks or a stump. You know, it's just, you got to use your head.
And those things hurt.
Besides that, you know.
Yeah.
But Jimbo knows. He's seen it. We seen it. Tell him about them stories out in front of Fate Sanders about right now what happens.
people, they run aground on the gravel bar out there, you.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll run aground so bad that and you can't get a boat to get them off. He'll step out of his boat and he won't be knee deep of water.
And that's between Fate and Sister Cove.
Exactly right. Yes.
That big flat right there. That is scary.
But now,
Because it goes from like 2 foot, and then all of a sudden you get to the edge of that river channel, it's 30 foot.
30 foot.
and the same way on up in the river. Up in the river, if you get outside them
Are
red
you talking
duck-
about up there by Mona and all up in there?
From when you break Spring and Fall Creek and hit the river,
Yeah.
if you don't hit them bends just right, there's stump rows for 75 yards long, and their stumps huge. And right now, they're not 2 or 3 feet under the water because the lake ain't up. You veer off over there, and there's been some wash in and hang a log.
Is Old Hickory any safer?
No. You know what's up now with it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we just come across the river, and it's full. I mean, you can imagine what it looks like over there.
Yeah.
What come out of Hartsville, the trees and all that.
And Shriner's tournament's coming up Saturday also.
Yeah, Shriner's tournament is this Saturday out of Sanders Ferry.
Surely is.
So there's a bunch of boats, and you got another one going out. What is it? A USA Bassin
Out of
that's
Flippers.
going out of Flippers. So you're probably going to have close to 200, I think, bass boats running up and down that, and
yeah, but
that's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, but Old Hickory, Old Hickory's always been a debris lake. Log, stump, something new come in.
If you've been on Old Hickory after a rain, you know it can
Right.
get dangerous.
And bales of hay coming down the river.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you
Yeah.
know, once again, it's boater safety. Drive, know what you're doing, pay attention. Don't be talking to your buddy over here, this and that. But just make sure you're
Is
safe.
the fishing good on both lakes right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Jim and Mickey, tell them.
Me and Mickey Saturday before last had a real good day in the Two Rivers Forward Wilson County Chamber of Commerce tournament. We caught some good fish.
Did y'all win that one?
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
I thought y'all did.
We surely
I thought
did.
Where's my picture of you guys winning that?
Mickey's got a picture. They got pictures of it. I didn't have it to use.
Well, now, Percy Priest has been doing pretty well, too.
Well, I mean, there's
I cannot believe the amount of big fish. Brian Carper had 2
Yeah.
toads
it's
yesterday.
Well, me and Jimbo was over there yesterday catfishing, and you get around a piece of driftwood or some of that drift, and there's all them little shad spawning right now. They're starting to spawn, so.
So the catfish bite ought to be good.
Oh,
well,
that'd be
it ought to.
Moving water.
Yeah, but now you got to remember they start bedding the middle of May, 1st of
That's
June.
right.
So they'll be less reluctant to actually really go up in a creek in the next couple of weeks
So they're spawning.
versus getting in some rock or getting somewhere and going and laying out.
Crappie spawn.
They're gone.
Bass is spawn.
Bluegill and shellcracker doing it right now.
They're going up to spawn. Catfish are getting ready to spawn. What's next? What about white bass, yellow bass? They're done, aren't they?
Yeah, they do it early.
They do it early. Any in the jumps right now? And what do we mean by the jumps?
Well, yeah, there's stripe and hybrid and bass. Everything's in the jumps. You get if you find the minnows up. I mean, but they're all together. You're just not going to pull in there and just catch stripe or hybrid. I mean, they're all in there together.
There's largemouth, smallmouth,
Everything.
stripe,
Yeah.
yellows, whites, and
Yeah.
everything in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Lots of shad? Are you seeing lots of shad?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's just like old hickory. It's just a matter of getting by one good enough for him to think it's real.
But don't you, Jimbo, don't you think that the amount of shad that we have in Percy Priest, isn't that what's keeping that lake really, really healthy?
I would say to a certain extent it is, Hugh.
I mean,
Poppy
for the
always
fish, it's got to be
Be
good.
healthy, right.
For the fisherman, it's not so good.
Not
He's
so
got a
good.
lot of competition.
He's got a lot of competition.
But for the fish, because the fish I'm seeing coming out of Percy Priest, really, they're healthy as I've ever seen any
In years.
fishery anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Big guts on them, a lot of good color. They're not damaged.
And
they're healthy.
Old hickory's got crawdads, but I bet it ain't got near the crawdads Priest does.
No.
Because you can pick up one rock and be 500 if they're
Yeah.
spawning. If on a full moon there'd be
Yeah.
crawdad just, brand new
Everywhere.
little babies that long, just hatched out. But I know they do the same thing at old hickory, but I just don't know the ratio of a crawdad in all that mud versus the rock ones.
You touched on something just a few minutes ago, Dayton, about the grass being 3 foot tall and
it's dry.
and it's dry. When this water does come out, are we ever going to see you go back to work?
No, it's over.
It's over.
It's over. If it-
I can't even imagine where you'd be.
So when I got to Spring Creek the other day, Jimbo didn't go. He had to work. So I got to Spring Creek, and I went in there, and I was like, man, look at all the humps. They're just dry. They're sticking up out of the water 3 feet. And then you get to looking back in them flats, and there's green grass growing that tall everywhere. All over it, the whole lake.
You think you died and went to Okeechobee, didn't you?
Something. Jim will be calling in sick.
He'll be calling in
Yeah.
sick. I heard
If the
that.
water comes back up.
So what's that going to do for our fish, Jimbo?
It'd make fall fishing
The best.
best if the water will make it on up. But if the water don't make it up, there's
It'll be just like it. All right, we got to do our product of the week, so let's go do it right now. This week's product of the week is being brought to you by Highland Rim Tractor right there in Millersville, Tennessee. They are your Mahindra tractor dealer. Go by and tell John we said hello, or Miss Story also. Hey, got one to show you here. This is the brand new Lew's Model 200, the speed spin, and just picked this up. It has the 10 ball bearings, really smooth though, isn't
Yes,
it?
sir, it is.
Now this one is 4, 6, and 8 pound test, so shad wrap is in its future. Do you not think?
Hair fly.
Hair fly,
Trout fishing.
Oh yeah, any of that.
Crappie.
Bluegill.
It's a multi-species
That's
reel.
right. So this is an awesome reel, real smooth 10 ball bearings. Pick it up at Gander Mountain. They've got a bunch of them over there. That's where I got this one in Mount Juliet. Just tell Alton you saw it on Southern Woods and Waters. You just got to have one. They are very reasonably priced. I would put this up against the Shimano any day. Any kind of Shimano, I would say this will do it. And Lew's makes a great product.
They've always made
They've
it
always
for
made good
years.
ones. They're
Years.
part of the fishing industry and have been for
Absolutely.
many years. So give them a try. Go by Gander Mountain in Mount Juliet. Pick you up your brand new Lew's Speed Spool. All right. So hope you enjoyed that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have our time for you to call in and ask any questions. We're also going to be talking to you about some swim baits, brand new from Mad Dad Lures. You got to get you some. Hurry right back to more Southern Woods and Waters.